I don't just want to kick and bounce off my target. I want to kick and then keep kicking.
For this week's technique of the week, we're gonna pass the torch over to Max here. Big, tall, lanky southpaw, and he wants to talk about one of his favorite southpaw tricks.
So I really want to teach the left kick. There's a quote that I really like that's, if you have a big enough hammer, everything is a nail. With the left kick, it's so prolific and oppressive, especially when you're a southpaw and especially when you're tall, that you can honestly win fights with nothing but the left kick. There's some very high level Thais who have beaten very, very good people on the Thai circuit with throwing 90% left kicks. You can get a really, really monstrous left kick and know how to use it well. You're gonna find that you can have a very universal answer to most of the problems that you're going to face in fighting, sparring, etc. So something important to understand about the left kick as opposed to the right kick is the way my partner stands and the way their base is oriented. So can you take a stance here? Something that I want you guys to realize is where my partner's posts are. One of the beautiful things about the left kick is that it attacks the weak angle where my partner has no posts at all. Right now, if I push on my partner here, I'm pushing him into one of his posts where one of his feet is. If I make pressure, he can make pressure back. When I throw a hard right kick at my partner, he can resist it with that post. However, if I push out on him on this angle and I make pressure, he's forced to stumble. One of the reasons that the left kick is so effective is that when I kick my partner hard with good technique, I'm kicking him onto that weak plane, onto that weak angle, forcing him to stumble. If I kick you and you stumble and I break your balance and you can't throw back at me, that is a free exchange for me. I've won that exchange. There are a couple more things that make the left kick really, really important. One of them is that my partner's liver lives on the right side of his body. I've put down a bunch of people, like honestly by accident, by just touching their liver with good technique and dropping them. It always shocks me when I land on the button how little force I actually need to put somebody down. So my partner needs to be extremely defensively aware of that side of their body. Furthermore, it's a much harder kick to catch because when I kick into with my right kick, I'm usually kicking into my partner's back, which makes it easier for him to catch because it's a lot easier for him to simply absorb the strike on the big, strong muscles of the back rather than on the tiny, tiny muscles of the abdomen and also on the liver. Last thing that's important to mention that's beautiful about the left kick is how much attritive damage you can do. My shin is a huge, very strong bone, and I'm throwing it with a lot of force at the tiny, small bones of my partner's forearm. If my partner properly helping hand blocks, it takes a lot of the brunt off, but usually not enough. And if I can occupy his lead hand somehow and kick only on this arm, I only need 2 or 3 of those to snap your arm right in half. One of my favorite ways to drill the particular kind of left kick that I want you guys to mostly be focusing on is to have my partner stand in stance, hold the pads, and my whole goal is to put my partner stumbling backwards. I don't really care about kicking hard. I just care about putting weight into the pads. So I'm in front of my partner here. I'm trying to turn my hip through the target and forcing him to take a step. One of the things to think about is that I want to maximize the amount of time my shin is making contact. Often when we try to kick, we're trying to bounce right back to stance because our stance is our safe spot. But in this case, in order to make somebody move, we have to both maximize the force that we're putting into them and also the amount of time that we're interacting with them. That's if you've ever taken high school physics. So as I'm striking my partner, I don't just want to kick and bounce off my target. I want to kick and then keep kicking. It's very important that you're actively moving your center of mass through the target. And I'm helping with that by driving off of my back foot and actively thinking of throwing my hip through my opponent. Once more. And one more principle is if you're Orthodox and you're watching this and you're feeling a little bit jealous that we Southpaws have such a beautiful, powerful, elegant technique at our disposal, I want you to understand that there's like a give and take between Orthodox and Southpaw with using this technique effectively. You should not neglect this if you are Orthodox. The power of this technique as a Southpaw is that I have a powerful kick right at my beck and call. Because my left foot is back, I am always ready to throw an extremely powerful left kick. And I basically always will whenever I see my partner not thinking about it. Anytime he twitches, anytime he moves, I'm battering him with that left kick. If you're Orthodox, you don't necessarily have that super powerful kick at your beck and call, but you do have this action being extremely threatening. And you can start using that to set up combos. So as a Southpaw, I have this technique right at my beck and call. I can use it whenever I want. As an Orthodox, my step throughs, my cover outs, and my switch steps are all extraordinarily threatening and can be used to set up other techniques that I want. They're all still useful for you. You just need a little bit more trickery. See Jonathan Haggerty's whole career if you want an example of that.